I should take us to a page where people can see me and hear you, but not see you.
Not now, anyway.
Yeah, sure. You're gonna animate that avatar any day now.
Any day.
Any day, it's gonna happen.
The joke
Uh,
would be on you if it turned out I had been working on it.
yeah, but you haven't.
Definitely not.
Uh, if it wasn't for the fact that I'd have to come over and set up the tech for you to stream your avatar, I'd just pay for somebody else to do it. Um, but then in order to stream it, the only way I can think of doing it is for you to run the VTube software on your computer and then output that to the Discord, to your Discord video. And then I put
Mm.
your Discord video into the stream and key out the background color, and then bam, boom, bing, bam, boom, you be there and uh, have blinking and mouth moving and I guess not hovering around like an asshole like me, but you know, you wouldn't be stuck in a perpetual state of shock anyway. Uh, anyway, hi, this is Fantasy Critic 2022 Week in Review 5. We are now in February. There's 11 game dates. Well, one new game that has an unannounced date and 10 new game dates and some
I
stuff.
have more written down, but they're probably because they're ports and stuff.
I have 5 games that are out, which I guess is a change in a date in that the date has passed, but it's not an update. And 2 of them are ports. 3 of them are ports.
I have more than that written down.
Okay. I mean, like,
But I think part of it is because, for instance, Pokemon I think had come out last week, but it has since gotten an official score. Like it
oh,
actually told
right.
us
Yeah,
on the
no, no,
thing.
I had not put Arceus on this list. That is true. Pokemon's it's out. What's his score? It's like 80 some, 85 something.
85.1. Wait. Oh no, that's Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, that's the Deep Rock port. Anyway, let's. Oh, wait. Let me go to Discord and boop.
The only thing I haven't done is I haven't actually ordered my list in
Well,
do
don't
that now.
worry. I've ordered my list, and if I get to the bottom of it and you're like, "There's a thing we haven't done," you can tell me. So the first thing is the Risk of Rain Survivors of the Void DLC, which, like, somebody picked that. Somebody like drafted that.
I think it was Jim.
I think it might have been Jim. There doesn't seem to be a trailer for the whole. Oh no, no, this is just like a stream of it. There's just this trailer for the official Railgunner Survivor Showcase, which apparently, I probably need to bring Discord to the. No, wait, not this Discord. This Discord. There we go. Just deal with that. Uh,
Oh, there's one that you already missed. At least on my list.
I mean,
Grapple Dog.
all right. Did I just like not go far enough back in time?
Maybe. It's set for February 10th.
Yeah, I didn't go back far enough in time. All right. Well, fix this. fix this list. It's got Grapple Dog, 2-point Campus. I thought this list was short. I was like, there's usually...
That's why you were like, there's 10 things. I was like, are you sure?
I mean, there were 10 things on my list. It's May 17th.
Right now I'm just
Okay,
organizing.
that's not the score. AI, Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative. I don't even know if that's like a game or a spin-off or a DLC or what. Awful. 2022. The Elder Scrolls High Isles.
The real High Isles.
Mortal Kombat 12 unannounced. Released Est unannounced. Oh my god. Really being punished by my bad keyboard right now. And Capybara Spa. Okay, this is looking a lot more healthy now.
Okay, I have
That's
my list all organized now.
Move this down. I guess I'll put the ones for just like a month at the bottom of all the actual. So if I have a bunch of dates, there's one that's just March 2022, and then a bunch of days on March 2022. So I
I
have all
have
the
2 that say March 2022.
What's the other one you have? That's March
I
2022.
have Shadow Warrior 3 and Capybara.
Shadow Warrior 3, I have March 1 because it is March 1st.
Oh, okay.
Like I have a actual date for that. Anyway, this is May 17th. Right. So Grapple Dog. Then I see the developer of this on Twitter, like tweeting gifs from this game, and I want to play it. It looks cute.
You gonna pop up a vidya?
Did I not?
I'm going right now. I'm going to your thing. Oh yeah, there it is. Looks pretty cute.
I just think the actual grappling looks pretty good. There's like good, what seems like it's gonna be good feeling movement in it.
I like when the dog turns into a perfect ball when he jumps.
Yeah, when he jumps.
I don't want to animate a jump. I'm just gonna turn him into a ball.
I mean, that's what I did in my game when I did a double jump. I'm just like, they just spin in the air. But yeah, I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be decent. If I was drafting this, I'd be like, solid high 70s points maybe. Apropos of me looking at gifs on Twitter, there's no research basis in this. Just yeah, AI Somnium Files. I feel like is a little bit of like a critic's darling. I'm gonna look that up first. It's just the regular AI Somnium Files. Well, I wonder if this is like a yeah. So the regular AI, the Somnium Files, is top critic rating of 81.
Nice.
So from a pure perspective of a cynical pick, because it's based on it's based on a game that's already scoring really well, then it's wow. There's a lot of like the short description of this has a lot of alternating caps in lowercase. Here, there's the announcement trailer. Whoops, that is not. She's playing Zero Escape.
Ah, okay.
I wish I had some omelet rice.
It is almost time.
For
Take
omelet
this
rice?
mission more seriously. You're not like that perverted buffoon.
Yeah. I hear ya,
Is this a golf game?
partner.
No, I don't think so. Well, AI Somnium Files wasn't a golf game.
I don't know, she like pulled something that looked like a golf club out.
Yeah,
It's-
the Zero Escape team generally make puzzle
Well, we can
games.
solve any case as long as you have me.
Who are you talking
That doesn't mean
to?
there's no golf involved.
No one.
There's like a really huge collector's edition for this, so I still don't. Okay, let's look at this on Steam. This is a different. I mean, there's a sports field. Maybe it really is golf.
Yeah, sure it. I'll never forget. It's
Never forget.
the left half of his body.
I see.
That body teleported here from a parallel world.
The base sequence was an exact match with the left half that was found.
There are no signs of him ever having been frozen.
And yet his time of death is 12 o'clock today.
The estimated time of death is approximately 9 hours ago.
I had a dream.
The time limit with Insomnium is 6 minutes.
It wasn't a good dream.
Somnium scan, activate!
That somnium, though.
That's why I didn't tell you the truth.
It's a reverse sync.
They say there's a hidden message inside.
I can't forget about what I did.
What's with that thing? According to the rumors.
I'm liking the creepy masked man with a frying pan.
You okay, Ryuki?
It can't be.
The Bats 490 video.
I can tell this is a Zero Escape
Talk about
team game because I have no idea what's going on, or what's happening, or how any of this relates to anything.
my life, and I'm dedicated to solving this case.
You will someday.
Aiba!
The half-body serial killer.
Something to do with the Nirvana
You
initiative?
need to solve this. You can do it.
No forgiveness! No mercy! Never!
Can you tell me one last thing?
Okay,
What
I
is
guess
that one last thing you need to know?
they never say. So I guess this is a whole new game that is in the AI the Somnium Files universe.
Sick.
Oh, if I weren't so short on slots.
I've noticed. We'll get into that later, but I have noticed that you're filling up pretty fast.
That's fine. I have like 4 drops. It's fine. That's 4 more spots I could potentially put games into. Okay. Elder Scrolls Online. I don't think I need to go look at a trailer for this. Unless you want to. Do you want to go look at the trailer for the
I
new?
don't even have Elder Scrolls Online. What's it called? Oh wait, the High Isles? I do have that
Yeah.
somewhere. Where the fuck? It says June 24th on my list.
Yeah. Wait, does it? June. Oh,
Yeah.
it's in the wrong order for me because I added after everything. Whatever. I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
The only thing I'm interested in. So the Elder Scrolls Online only has 70. What Here you go. Expansions and updates. The last one to come out. All the downloadable content. Oh my god, there's so many things. Blackwood looks like to be the most recent thing. There we go. Okay, so Blackwood is 78. So there might be, you know, a sort of slow upward trend. I have this theory with MMOs that, like, the more and more DLC that comes out, the more the group of people who are playing and reviewing games is the same group of people who've always been playing that MMO, and the more likely it's going to be that it's going to get favorable reviews because people who already like that game are the people who are playing it and then reviewing it. If that makes sense, like there's less chance that somebody who hates Final Fantasy is going to play the latest expansion for Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker, because there's already people who are like, no, I love Final Fantasy 14. Of course I'll play Endwalker and write a review for it.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I don't know if that increased trend in score is necessarily an indicator of quality, but also iteration is the key to making good video games. And you don't get much more iteration than we have to release a new set of content every 18 months or all our users will leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel I need to go look at a trailer for the Elder Scrolls Online. Even though it's a game that should technically appeal to me, it just doesn't. Okay, we're into March stuff proper now, right?
On my list,
I have Risk of Rain, Shadow Warriors
yeah.
3, and Heroes Hour, whatever that is.
I also have Space Lines from the Far Out.
Space Lines to the Far Out I have on March 11th, not March 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Capybara Spot also.
Yes,
If
but
we're
that's
I thought we were talking about all March games.
No, I was asking about the March ones, because there's no we don't have an enumeration for them, right? Should probably like alphabetize them, right? If they're all on the same day, and
that
then
makes sense.
And then the oh S. Okay. So then in that
You're
case,
making sense to me now, Duncan.
you know, you know how sometimes I just don't make any sense.
It's true.
Heroes Hour. No, we looked at this. We looked at this.
Well,
I swear.
maybe I don't recognize it, but maybe its release date changed.
Yeah, look, we watched this trailer for sure.
I mean, I don't remember it. Maybe I do remember. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe
We watched this trailer and I was like, oh, maybe Ryan would like this.
Ryan does like auto battler things.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. But then also, like, from the perspective of a Fantasy Critic player, if a game is like, oh, if you like this kind of game, then you'll love this game, tends to perform pretty well, especially if it's a small title. And again, like, fucking big publications are not like, oh man, we need to go play this fucking auto battler that nobody's ever heard of and review it. I mean, Strange Horticulture has 97% on Steam right now because the only people who are playing and talking about it are the people who like that kind of game. So, it also doesn't have enough open critic. No, wait, it does, doesn't it? It has a really high score on Fantasy Critic. Pretty sure. Anyway, Shadow Warrior 3.
Well, it's a third one. It has to be good, right?
Shadow Warrior has been going like climbing in school. That's why I looked up before. It was like 72, 74, and then 77.
Nice.
So, this is the newest trailer. So, in fact, this is the release date trailer.
X-Bone.
Get back here, you little ugly rodent! Whoop. Ah, woo.
Damn it, Lu Wang! A little help?
Oh yeah.
That guy looks like not Star-Lord.
Oh right, yeah,
Animations are really slow.
Marketing suits. Those idiots said we'd never be considered a big game unless we do this cool ultra slow motion trailer. The one where we zoom around, see all the rad stuff from each character.
I mean, the animation was slow before you started slowing it down, but okay.
Ah, fair enough. Roll the royalty-free classical music.
I do like a good self-aware trailer though.
Massive effing dragon. What? Didn't quite nail that 2021 release date, huh?
Yeah, I remember when this game announced 2021 because it's in the Devolver conference. But yeah, like it's like another solid. It's a solid pick, probably.
Not solid enough.
Hey, if I was looking at all these games that we've looked at so far, and I was like, this is the winner, it's definitely AI, the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative, and not
Agreed.
Shadow Warrior. In fact, it'd be Risk of Rain, Survivors of the Void, and then AI Somnium Files, probably. Let me actually, actually, I can probably look it up on Fantasy Critic. What? Risk. Oh, okay. There's no listing for. Maybe there is no listing for. Oh wait, I already need to go. No, I will. I am on the games. Okay, well let's just go here. I'm thinking maybe Risk of Rain 2 might not have been listed because it went into early access. Yeah, so my primo pick so far would be the Risk of Rain DLC because Risk of Rain has 87. Oh, sorry, Risk of Rain 2. It would be wild if they announced original Risk of Rain DLC.
I like original Risk of Rain. I haven't played the
Yeah, it has good music.
the new one.
Risk of Rain 2. So the thing I know about Risk of Rain, like we watched the trailer for the Risk of Rain thing, and like the trailers never make it look good. The trailers make it look like a cheap game. But like everyone who plays Risk of Rain says it's really fun to play. I think it's a game that feels fun when you do play it, but when you watch somebody else play it, you don't understand why they're having a good time. It is nice that it's one of the few multiplayer like action roguelikes. Like you can play the roguelike with a bunch of friends. It has a bunch of stupid builds that you can do. So yeah, so Space Lines from the Far Out. I've never heard of this. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be calling it now. It's gonna be another like we copied
Oh, Overwatch or not Overwatch,
moving out
Overcooked.
/ Overcooked.
Yeah.
Xbox sound.
Brought to you by Adamdine Gravity Generator. Keep your feet on the ground and your lunch inside your stomach.
Kind of cute.
It's
It looks
like
more like they're
that-
trying to copy FTL.
I was thinking that game where Ryan kept on trying to upgrade the map. Love is in a dangerous space-time.
Don't talk to me about that.
But we gotta upgrade map.
No.
I like that the Space Inspector comes on his hover bike.
Looks pretty fun.
This is gonna be another one of those co-op games that you can't get everyone to agree to play.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like 1 or 2 people who are like, no, I don't like that game, I won't play it. And so you never get to play a lot of it because you can't get enough people to play it together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would put it on, well, and by would, I mean I am going to like put it on my to watch list for a future game to play.
Maybe I should start like a little multiplayer side list on my list. So when like we are doofing around to be like, oh yeah, we could play this game. This
Yeah.
multiplayer game. It's not like we don't have enough of those already. Capybara Spa. I know that we're gonna be like, oh, it's a little guy. We love little guys. Look at that. It's a spa for capybaras. Who doesn't love coconut dogs?
I like that you pick them up and put them in their baths. Oh, you can put little ones in the bath. Ah!
There's a turtle in that
Turtle!
bath.
That's not a capybara.
No, it's the capybaras +1.
Ah, that's fair.
Oh
it
my
is!
god. Oh, like stack.
Okay, I love it.
See, I told you you were gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, it's a little guy. I love little guys. This is cute.
At first I wasn't sold, but then it was really cute.
I'm just gonna wait for you to play it, and then you can tell me if it's worth getting.
I'll think about it.
I've been playing Strange Horticulture, by the way. It's really good.
That's good to know.
There was like one puzzle in it that really accidentally fucked me up a lot, but I ended up just like looking it up. But other than that, it's been okay. Evil Dead the game. I mean, I sure know people like the Evil Dead.
Ryan really likes Evil Dead.
Why is there a LARPer here?
I mean, clearly reasons.
Hola, cyber friends. I'm Bruce Campbell. You know me as Ash Williams, the dude who saved the world from evil. I'm here to bring you the lowdown on the upcoming Evil Dead the game. You and your friends will team up as classic Evil Dead heroes to live the nightmare. You'll use savage finishing moves or tear evil a new one. Or, if you're not into the whole save the world thing, we have another option. You can play as the vile Kandarian demon itself. But who would want to do that? He'd be a dick. With the power of possession in your arsenal, you'll scare those goody two-shoes to death. Literally, you can do that if you're a dick. Whether you choose the path of evil or righteousness, you'll be throwing down in places you've seen before. You'll collect pages of the Necronomicon, uncover Nobi's lost tapes, and track down other legendary artifacts. When you've grabbed enough, you'll use a spell to send the Kandarian son of a bitch back to the hellhole it came from.
Bruce, you could put a little bit more emotion into these lines.
Yep.
Not asking for a
Soon you'll
lot.
experience the horror yourself, but for now, I'll leave you with
You
this
can
thought.
tell he's just reading this.
It was no accident that Ash always wore brown pants.
And it, like, it sure is a class-based defense game. Like, I've played like 3 games like this last year, and just being like, oh, it's dead. We put Evil Dead in it.
I'll spoil those good.
I think like a really petty point of contention I have with games is I really dislike it when there are games where you have like bladed weapons. This has been the trailer. Yeah, so there's a thing there where he like shoves the sword right through his body and then pulls it out again, and then comes back and does a slash and a huge amount of blood comes off the body, and then there's like no visible damage on the character's model.
Yeah.
Like, I know that my inner designer is like, you have to do this so the player understands that they're hit connected, that they're doing damage. But also I'm like, if blood sprays off a person, that means there's a hole that the blood came out of.
Is there though?
I mean, there's a couple of games where that is true. What was that? That's medieval fighting game where you could play the loot for no reason, but that was like really hardcore. It was like if you took 2 or 3 hits, you just go down. If somebody hit you in the head, they would just like cut your head off and you just die.
Well, that's fun.
And it was cool. It was like very much about strategically moving together to not give the enemy an opening, and then you get down to like the last few people, and then there's really tense duels where these people like duke it out trying not to take a single hit because a couple of hits would bring you down. It was like pretty exciting. Okay, 2 Point Campus. I feel like I watched a tiny amount of Markiplier playing an early version of this game, and it looked not very playable.
It's just 2 Point Hospital, but campus, isn't it?
Maybe I was thinking of a different game. Of a different school sim game.
The bound book, the faint clatter of knights jousting. Well, I can't say I remember that part, though it wasn't like this in my day. You see, campuses are forever changing. Nowadays, education has to be fun. It can't be all work and no play, and quite right too. Frankly, the results speak for themselves. Academia has never been more appealing, more dynamic, more whatever this is.
More whatever this
Campus
is.
is a place to live and a place to learn. Finely crafted by the sharpest minds that money can buy. Though sometimes you still can't get the staff. Yes, these days it really does feel as though anything is possible.
I like the giant pizza oven.
Hmm.
2-point campus. Class is in session.
I don't typically play those games, so I'm like whatever on it.
I mean, was 2-Point Hospital good?
No, apparently.
I mean, I really like Theme Hospital, so I was happy to be like Theme Hospital. Apparently, according to Open Critic, 2-Point Hospital's very good. It's 84. But I'm never like, oh, I must play this, you know? MLB The Show is MLB The Show. I don't. Like, I guess, what was the last MLB? MLB The Show 21 got 78 out of 100. It's a sports game. What exactly do you expect?
More sports.
Dordogne. Dog. This is the painting game. The photo painting photography?
Ooh, yeah, I think I remember seeing this one announced.
Oh my god. That's...
follows Mimi, a young woman revisiting her
Yeah, this is a game that I've already like wanted to play. Like I've already stated that I will play this game.
Is hand painted on paper before being brought to life in game. Through the adventure, you will help Mimi build her journal with the
I love games in which you take photos.
It's like you can record audio in this game as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you can write haikus? Oh, I love this. This is like scrapbooking.
A nostalgic adventure, Dodon is brimming with feeling and heart. Help Mimi see once again through the eyes of the little girl who marveled at everything when Dodon launches later this year on PC and Nintendo Switch. We can't wait to show you more.
I mean, I want to play this game a lot.
Yeah, you don't have to show me anymore. I know that this is a game I will play.
I mean, I had already decided that I wanted to play it. Is it on my... So I don't think it's on my list for this year because it wasn't until... It wasn't until recently it was confirmed for 2022.
Hmm.
I'll add it in now. Boop. Okay. UFL, whatever the heck that is.
No clue.
A football game.
Woo!
We interrupt this broadcast with a message from the future.
A message from the future?
A future where free to play means fair to play.
Oh, okay.
Fair to play?
Your favorite players, and they actually play like them too.
They actually play like them
We create
too.
our own clubs and manage every stage and every detail of their journey. We compete in matches where skill is always the deciding factor, experiencing moments of exhilaration, deflation, and elation that every true football fan can relate to. We overcome challenges.
I like the ads for
I can't relate.
for Strikers Inc.
Incredible heights, attracting star players and nurturing new talents.
Attractive star players.
Ultimate footballing lineup to take on all comers and let the world know what it really means to be the best. This is what the future of online football looks like. And how do we know? Well, we built it. And it's time for you to join us. UFL is coming when it's ready. In 2022.
It's coming when it's ready, and it will be ready sometime in 2022. I guess somebody's like, hey, let's strike EA in the weak point of there's not a good free-to-play football game that isn't their fucking awful micro-payment card buying game. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very nice. It looks like the actual football graphics look really... Let's see some gameplay.
Okay.
There was some gameplay footage. It's not even like okay though. It's like an early PS3 game.
You saying early PS3 games don't look at least okay?
I mean, lots of games look okay. This game looks okay, I guess. Like, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh my, I looked up FIFA, and one of the first things I get is like open packs of cards, which is totally proof that these guys are right being like fucking EA's soft spot is their monitor. Like these animations and stuff look so much more like a real football match than the ones in the UFL trailer. And that's like that mouth is creepy. I feel like that was about to absorb the universe. And it's fair, it's going to be really hard for anyone to compete with EA doing this, because they have years and years and years of practice of, like, they have a big animation library and money. It's not, but, like, it's not the money, it's the moat of time. It's that they've had 10 years to perfect footballers' natural animations looking good.
Looks like. And how do we know? The best. This is what the future of online football looks like. And how do we know?
Yeah, anyway. But it might be, I guess, a good pick, because people are just going to be really happy that there's a football game.
EA football.
Like, what is this?
Whatever it is, we have to link it to Bean.
A Jeff Lure production. Looks like somebody who didn't make it into the M&Ms.
This makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Do you think they're supposed to be a coffee bean?
There was a hit on the warehouse. Everyone is dead.
Okay, the best part is that it takes itself very seriously.
You were given specific orders to hunt down and eliminate the target. No one else.
Yeah, I know what the mission is.
Then stick to it.
Any way you can, by any means, put him in the ground.
Oh, no, you did not.
No, you did not.
Hey Jade, we need to make a video game. We only have one character model. What do we do?
We can use different shaders. That's okay.
We got different outfits, and you can have them different colors, but all the, like, faces and heads have to be the same.
Yeah. They can have different hats.
Let me help you kill Bean.
There is nothing you
We have a couple different voice actors as well.
What this country needs is some serious gun control. I mean, we need to take away all the guns. All of them. And just get rid of them.
I don't. Wait, this Killer Bean Forever is from 12 years ago.
What?
Here we go. Killer Bean, the open world game.
It looks.
Oh, look, it's an Unreal environment and an Unreal model. Moving the default Unreal character system. If only I knew how to do that. Oh look, they're only moving around an environment. Maybe they're gonna shoot. Oh, there's some shooting. Look at that.
Remember, it's a very early something.
Well, I'm gonna say with great confidence that if this game comes out this year based on this very early footage, it's not gonna be a very good video game. I think if we were drafting the list where we're trying to get the lowest points, then that would be a good. Okay, there's just a tweet about this. Project Golden Necker is confirmed for 2022. It's a single standalone game, and it's set to launch this year. Oh, right, because they did the other Gwent game.
Oh!
Right? What was the... It was Gwent, right?
Yes?
This one, Gwent, the Witcher card game. Oh, I was thinking of Thronebreaker. My god, there's a lot of the Witcher games. I'm only just appreciating this now. There's 3 games that are spun off of The Witcher 3. Thronebreaker's 85. Gwent is 84. That'd be a spicy. I bet people would try and outbid you on it.
Yeah, probably.
Men of War 2. I bet this is gonna be. This is gonna be good. I bet this is gonna be like. World War 2 games are not gritty enough. Oh no, it's RTS. World War 2 RTSs are not gritty enough. There's an angry man in a tank.
Grittier.
The classic art. I've never heard of this series. Experience war like never before.
Wow, how unexperienced.
I mean,
I feel like I've never experienced war this way before.
Yeah, me either. Men of War 2. Mortal Kombat 12 unannounced. Shovel Knight 2 unannounced. Whatever the heck, Ghosts. is it's a live-action horror game,
Oh.
but it's been cancelled. Well, it's been removed from Fantasy Critic. Then,
Oh yeah. I had the very bottom of my list because it was removed.
then Sucker for Love First Date is out. 75 points. Rule your Cthulhu dating needs. The Switch port of Unforeseen Incidents, which I don't. What is Unforeseen Incidents? Which apparently his radio mast has something to do with it.
Operator, what is your emergency?
My name's Harper Pendrell. I just found a woman and she's really sick. There's blood everywhere. I think it's Yelltown fever.
An area of farmland outside Yelltown is still in quarantine.
Let me reassure the people of Yelltown that the risk of contagion is very, very
The outbreak
small.
is now securely contained, and we are providing Yelltown with truly world-class treatment.
Someone I know, a doctor. He's trying to cure Yelltown fever.
It's not quite as simple as finding a cure. By all accounts, it kills in a matter of hours, not days.
The infected woman was talking kind of strange. She gave me an envelope for a reporter named Helliwell. I think there's something not right going on here.
I think there's something not right going on here.
Yelltown. Same yellow suits. They're the ones who done it, Hob. The yellow suits.
I heard that signal of yours before, somewhere in Greystone Woods.
This place, the people in the woods, the death cult. Did you ever wonder what the fever feels
His eyebrows were so powerful.
Why don't you tell me what's going on?
Why should I? For all I know, you killed Patty Silverdale.
I've got no idea what's happening, and I'm not smart enough to double-cross anyone. You can definitely trust me.
I'm not smart enough to double cross anybody. I like that.
I kind of like.
Those are some of the finest cupcakes I've ever seen in the trunk of a stranger's car.
I like this game, except it's going to be a point-and-click adventure game, which means that I won't enjoy playing it probably. What's that game that's like the acclaimed Russian misery simulator game?
Papers, Please?
Begins with a P.
Papers, Please?
No, not Papers, Please. It's on my list of games to play this year, but it's been out for a while. I just couldn't play it during the pandemic. Pathologic. And Pathologic 2. I like those games because one of the main things in that game is there's like a mysterious, well, not a mysterious, there's an infection in the town that is infecting people and killing people. But there's not like a big conspiracy behind it. It's just like an infectious disease. It's meaningful to gameplay because the fucking like enforcers are there to try and stop the infection from spreading, and they'll cause you problems and be like, oh, we need to keep the town on lockdown, and then it's hard to get supplies because nobody wants to come there because there's an infection in the town. But it's not like, and then we uncovered the government conspiracy to infect. No, people just caught a fucking disease and then they died.
I don't know if anything has taught me, or if COVID has taught me anything, is it's definitely the government doing it to try to kill Republicans.
Squid Girls 18 plus is a game I cannot look up the trailer for.
That's fair.
I mean, not on the stream. I have looked up the trailer for it and confirmed that I am not.
No, that's fair.
Displaying it on this stream. It's a mediocre third-person game that looks kind of like Squid Game, where it's all girls, and assumedly there's H scenes between you going through the obstacle courses. I got as far as working out what it was about and was like, there's so many better porn games out there. There's so many better ways of consuming your pornography other than this. Sure, it drives somebody's motor though. I'm sure somebody has like a fetish for like I can only enjoy porn if it's packaged in a mediocre video game.
That's me.
Compared to like other fetishes, it's honestly kind of mundane, you know. Given the number of how popular 50 Shades of Grey are, there's a lot of people out there who are like, I prefer my porn in the form of mediocrity. Nothing else will do it for me. Life is Strange Remastered Collection is out, which I assume is considered to be a port for us.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
It doesn't even have a score yet. It's out. It's not scored. Oh, it's came out yesterday. That's why.
I'm sure it'll do fine.
Yeah. I mean, Life is Strange, despite its flaws, 81 out of 100.
I mean, I love Life is Strange.
I know you do. I played through the whole thing, and I would not do that again.
Sure, you would.
I absolutely would not. And then Pokemon's came out, got 85.1.
The important thing is we got someone on our group got 85.1 or 15.1 and somebody lost 15.1.
Yeah, they lost almost exactly the maximum number of points you can lose to a single game when you counterpick. Right. I need to go to the pins and get this. There we go. Because I assume you want to talk about our bidding results. Because you were like,
They were kind of boring this week.
oh, I thought you had stuff to say about that. Because I was
bidding
talking.
Stuff?
Yeah, because we were talking about a bit something relating to the games we picked, and you were like, I have stuff to say about that. Or were you just
no, like we'll get to it.
Was your thing that you had to say was just you don't have many slots left?
No, just like we'll get to the pickups later because we'll talk about it then. Like
Oh, okay. Okay.
The most spent. So the most interesting thing I would say about this week is there was like literally no one fighting over anything.
Yeah.
Nobody this round failed to pick something up because somebody else outbid them.
I'm enjoying the brass balls on Jim
Yeah.
choosing to counterpick Advanced Wars 1
Yeah.
and 2 Reboot Camp.
Not only did they choose to counterbid them, they picked up Mortal Kombat unannounced. And then Evil West and Skin Deep, those or whatever. And then a certain somebody spent $18 on 2 games.
Yes. That was I got Ghost Runner Project Hell and Euro Truck Simulator 2 Heart of Russia. Why would I not? Why would I not? I probably don't have a whole bunch of points left to make more. Yeah, I have 2 slots left.
Yeah, that's why I was saying like you've been picking up a lot, huh?
Yeah, I have. I'm comfortable going down to 2 slots, even though we're early in the month.
Early in the year.
In the year, my bad.
I'm okay with that because it just means you're less likely to fight me on things.
Well, because of the way conditional drops work, as long as I still have 2 two unconditional drops, or not unconditional drops, but it's like drops that as long as they haven't actually been released, I can drop them. I can always set them as a conditional drop for a bid and bid on something.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons that I went in was I was like, if I need to change something later, I can drop at the same time as I make a bid, and then if I win the bid, it will drop the game, and if I don't win the bid, it doesn't drop the game.
Ah, okay.
So I can put the money out there, and then if I get outbid, it's no big deal. Whereas before, you'd have to commit to dropping the game. If all your slots were full, you'd have to commit to dropping the game and commit to making the bid. And if your bid you got outbid, you just end up dropping the game and get nothing. And that would be potentially devastating if you were dropping something you spent a lot of money on. I am concerned that I've blown through a lot of my budget. I have over $10 left per game, assuming I fill all my other slots. I do need to bid on a counter pick though, so not actually 10, it's more like 7. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty unnotable. I don't know what Evil... No, I'm sure I've seen Evil West. I don't know what Skin Deep is.
I have no clue.
So you've decided to be an insurance commander.
Oh wait, I do know this game.
Cats from our ships. Luckily, the cats bought our deluxe insurance package. Your mission: eradicate the pirates by any means necessary. Protocol
This
1,
definitely
2,
looks like
7.1.
something Jim would
No
pick up.
bullets, no problem. Protocol 832, being smelly and what to do about it. Oh no, you're making smell clouds. You're so dirty, a space pirate smelled you. Wash your whole body.
Wash your whole body.
Beware of blades. Protocol 999. Risk not, want not.
Okay, I like that. You just like shoot a thing at you and you pick it up and shoot it back at someone.
Or BlendoGames.com.
Blendo is good, and Annapurna usually publishes good games. Okay, I can see why Jim picked this. Okay, this is not what I was thinking. I mean, it was premiered at the Game Awards, which is probably why I don't know what it is.
You know what kept me alive all these years?
What?
Upkeep, maintenance, vigilance.
I know I've seen this trailer, I just don't remember anything about it.
Hell's Gates starts spewing shit everywhere.
Man, Cowboy God of War looks fun, I guess.
Cowboy God of War.
It's Cowboy God of War. It's like stylish ultra-violence, right? that's what I see when I see it. It's a very safe pick, which I guess pairs nicely with also picking Skin Deep, which I think is not a very safe pick at all.
Skin Deep does look funny though.
$5 bids on those. That's smart. Like nobody is gonna duke it out on those games. Nobody is gonna duke it out over Mortal Kombat 12.
Mortal Kombat.
It's not it's not that it's Mortal Kombat, it's that it's unannounced.
Yeah.
So, oh, Jim's like up with me now in not having many slots as well.
Knowing Jim, it's because he just wants to essentially have it done. He doesn't have to worry about missing out or something.
$20 more in their budget than me.
It's because you're scared that people are gonna duke it out against you.
Yeah, I probably overpaid for Ghost Runner.
Well, now with Nintendo, they tend to be a bit scary.
They only have 35. They only have $35 left.
I know, but they tend to be pretty scary in the sense that they specifically go for you when bidding against stuff. It's almost like anything you bid on is like open game for them.
Man, my projected points are so low. By advanced projections, I'm gonna finish in 6th place in the league, and Kenny's gonna sweep again.
I doubt that's true.
I don't know. I think probably advanced projections are saying that I'm gonna get completely crushed by I am Jesus Christ. No, it's only no. It actually thinks I'm gonna get 1 point. I think I'm gonna get positive 1 point from that game. So wait, actually, I didn't want to go to the history. I wanted to go in here. So by next week, we will have scores for Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Ollie World, Crusader Kings 3, The Royal Court, and Sifu.
I know people are pretty hype about Sifu.
I looked at the last game that the Sifu devs made. And it like
just looks okay.
No, it's Absolver, and it looks cool, but it didn't review particularly well. Like the whole thing is it's like a fighting game where like a third-person fighting game where the fighting feels really strategic. I know for a while like there's like a group of people who really like this game because of like how much more strategic the fighting is in it, rather than it just being like you dodge and look for an opening and use the right heavy or light at the right time. I say I like the art style in this game. It's like a cool art style. But yeah, I also have a feeling that Absolver came out, and then For Honor came out shortly after it, which also had like much more strategic melee fighting. kind of like stole its thunder a little bit. Yeah, but Observer has 73 out of 100, which is like, it's not a bad game. It's not gonna, help you crush the scoreboard on Fantasy Critic. Yeah, hey, Absolver comes extremely close to being an amazing game with its deep 1v1 melee combat and unpredictable player encounters, where it falters in is nearly everything else. So maybe it's like Sifu's gonna fix all of that. They just take the good combat system and then fix everything else, and that's the new game. I'm also suspecting there's going to be some controversy about whitewashing in Sifu. Because the entire game is made by white dudes, and there's no Asians on that team, and more than one person on Twitter is on a campaign to remind everyone about that.
How many Asians were in Sucker Punch?
I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me.
Okay. Because Sucker Punch did a really good job with Ghost of Tsushima, and everyone loves that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that doesn't matter when it comes to if controversy happens or not, right? What matters is how much social clout the people who are making complaints have, and whether it's enough clout for Kotaku, Polygon, et al. To write an article about how upset they are, and then for the whole of Twitter to be talking about that for a day, right? Because it's like people complaining about the lack of content warnings in Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yeah.
Right? Or like when there was all the outcry about developers being exploited, and like one person on Twitter was talking about how the Terraria devs basically made a bunch of teens work for them for free and never compensated them, and nobody picked up that story. That was just like not, the press didn't give a shit about that. It wasn't anything less of a story. So I don't think that you can't just take a correlation of like how true it is, how accurate it is. It's just a question of like if it's going to be a thing, and then it's a question of if the outlets that are reviewing that care enough to dock points off of the game. Polygon's not above that. Polygon does that on the reg. They're like, I don't like the cultural values that are driving this game, so I'm giving it less points. And I personally think that that is fine. Reviews aren't objective, reviews are subjective. And if you're like, I don't like EA, so I'm giving this game less points, and you write in your review that the reason that you're giving this game less points because you don't like EA, there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's no big secret there. You should be allowed to express that you had less fun playing a video game because of your existing biases. Biasi. You shouldn't have to come in and be like, I have to do this video game and I have to completely separate myself from my existing feelings to write this review, because you can't fucking do that. Like that's not how human beings work. And it does fuck with aggregation sites, but aggregation sites are kind of bad too. Like, we do this open critic thing. It's super fun. I still don't use game scores as my main metric for picking which games I play.
What games have you played this week, or I guess this month? Or just last month?
Yeah, this month I've had 2 days in this month. Like,
yeah.
I've actually played a lot of games this month. I played 3 games this month already.
Really?
Yeah, well, so I started trying to play Skull the Hero Slayer last night. It was not at all the game I expected it to be. Like, I'm gonna pull up the trailer now, actually. I was expecting it to be a action platformer game. Like, fighty thing. Maybe like Metroidvania-y. But it's roguelike. It's a roguelike game. The areas are randomly generated. I'm going back to look at the trailer now to be like, did I just not watch the trailer for this game properly? Was I a weirdo for getting this read? I love this mechanic though. Of like,
I saw Markiplier play this, or oh that's so cute. Yeah, I saw him fight this boss.
okay, I feel less bad for
I
making
don't
a
think
faulty
that.
assumption about the gameplay. They literally don't show any of the roguelike parts of it.
Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't fault anyone for thinking it was a roguelike or thinking it wasn't, to be honest.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not stupid. It's like a good game. It's a fun game. I love the little guy, the skeleton guy. When you get items, what he does is he pulls his whole skull off and then just shoves the item in his chest cavity and then puts his head back on.
That's cute.
And there's a mechanic. The mechanic when you're like the little base, the purple dude, without a special head, you throw your head at enemies. And if it hits, it does a bunch of damage, and it recharges really slowly. But if you walk over to your head, you pick your head back up again, and the skill instantly recharges, and you can use it again. And the combat's kind of chunky and satisfying. Shit's so poorly explained in this game. This game does very little to explain itself. Like, you finish an area, and then like a couple of doors pop up that are decorated differently, but it doesn't. What those two door shapes mean, never explained by the game. The dialogue is it's translated into English. It's definitely like readable, but like every character sounds the same. Characters don't sound like they have any character. Whoever translated it was like not somebody who was interested in giving the characters voice through the dialogue. It's just like words. I ended up skipping through a lot of it. Like, I tried reading stuff characters were saying, but I couldn't.
What else?
So I obviously played a bunch of Strange Horticulture. I'm like 4 hours into Strange Horticulture. I'm really enjoying it. It's just like there's like a really big rush in that game when I'm picking the plant. It's weird because if it's so, did you play the demo of Strange Horticulture?
No.
So there's a mechanic called Rising Dread, and each time you make a mistake, it increases your Rising Dread, and then when your Rising Dread bar fills up, your mind shatters, and you have to like put this puzzle back together to reassemble your mind so that you can resume playing. So there's not like, a lives or a save point system or anything. You just have to do this like puzzle, and then there's a narrative implication that it's like bad for your character's health to make a bunch of mistakes. And the whole game is like so ominous. Everything is so ominous that it makes you want to not fail, even though the mechanical punishment for failure is just like, oh, I have to go do a puzzle. And then I can continue doing what I was doing before. But yeah, so every time I go to pick a plant, and I've like looked at all the things, I've looked at the plant, I've looked at the entry in the book, I've examined the plant with the thing and read the descriptions and looked at the other plants, and then commit to being like, yes, this is the one. I get a little mini rush every time I'm right.
Mm.
It's like a little bit scary, and I'm very much enjoying that. And just like the overall spooky vibe of the game is great.
Okay, I'm really excited. I did buy it. It's on sale right now. Anybody who's listening, it's on sale at
20% off.
Yeah.
Or 20% off or 10% off?
I think it's 10% because it's
10% off because it just came out.
Anything else?
Obviously I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
I've been doing the Bosjan Southern Front, which is like it's interesting Final Fantasy 14 content in that you're fighting on a war front. So there's like these constant events that are happening of skirmishes, and you like go to a skirmish with other players and help them out go do the skirmish, and then go break off and do your own thing, and then there's this other skirmish over here. So it's like way more freeform than like
Okay.
I'm gonna get a bunch of people and run a dungeon or do raid content or whatever. You're there, you do the shit, you do the fighting, and if you want to go do something else, you can just go do something else. You're not making this big time commitment. But it also has a mechanic. It has its own experience system called metal, and if you die, you lose metal. So you feel more invested in the fighting than if you were just like wandering around regular zones doing fates.
Okay.
Also, it has like cool, exciting boss fights that I saw the first one of yesterday with this cute giant mandragora that had a bow stuck on its head with a sword. It had like a giant sword in its head, and then the sword had a bow on it. So yeah, that's the 3 games that I have played in February already. This week is supposed to be the week I'm playing Skull, but I only made it like half an hour into it because I was just like not in the headspace to do a roguelike at the time.
That's fair. I'm not the biggest roguelike fan, to be honest.
Except for Hades.
Except for Hades. But that one is clearly like it's not just like a roguelike. It should be its own genre, really.
What?
I'm just saying that it's like it's extra good.
I mean that's more where I come at this from. Like after I was playing Skull, is I feel so much like Hades has ruined me for other roguelikes. Because to me now, I see these games and I'm like, it's obvious that X should work like Y. Because I saw it in Hades has the thing with the doors.
Hades, how dare you do this so fucking good?
Hades has the things with the doors and the symbols above the doors that clearly link to the symbols of things you pick up in the world, which means you could never see a tutorial for that game. And just through the visual cues, be like, oh, if I go through a door with the Poseidon symbol on,
I will speak to Poseidon.
At the end of the encounter, I will get a Poseidon reward. If I go through a door with a gold symbol on, I'll get gold, and blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
The way the story unfolds through, like, multiple playthroughs is just, like... Yeah, in Skull, you start, there's, like, one NPC you can talk to at the start who, like, says something slightly different each time you start. And it's like this is
so
like
they're trying.
It's like the most baby version of this. So like in the defense of games in general, there were other games doing what Hades did with dialogue before Hades was doing it. Baroque in particular has a system of like you're expected to go into the dungeon, explore the dungeon, die, and restart, and slowly like develop new layers of dialogue as you discover stuff and discover new interactions. And like certain NPCs will just start talking to you differently after you've died a few times. But Baroque doesn't have the narrative the narrative is intentionally abstract so that the story doesn't have to be as tight as it is in Hades. Because Baroque is a game where you may or may not have been the person that ended the world.
Oh, okay.
but it's hard to tell because of the state the world's in. It's a Shin Megami Tensei-esque game. Like, a lot of stuff is just very fucked up. And then also Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter kind of had the, like, each time you die it adds more and more layers to the narrative system.
I know that Tim Rogers really likes that game.
Dragon Quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to give that game another proper chance. When I played it originally, I think I was pretty salty with it because I really love Breath of Fire 3 and 4, and it's completely different to those two games. It's a totally different, like, I'd have trouble imagining an RPG that was more different to Breath of Fire 3 and 4 as Dragon Quarter was, because it went from like isometric turn-based fights in a party with like a fixed map and a story to like this weird, like very heavily strategic pseudo real time based combat system. There was a thing out of combat where you could like lay traps for the enemies. There's like not like a roguelike system, but a like, oh, you're supposed to repeatedly play through the game and let it like layer up over time. The setting is completely like the Breath of Fire 3 and 4 have a very like it's like super post-apocalyptic setting of like everything's very natural driven, like very natural or medieval looking, like ancient looking, but there's technology around. Like what happened was technology was invented, destroyed a huge chunk of the world, and then they started again and built new shit. It's like a Final Fantasy thing, whereas in Breath of Fire 5 it's just this like big underground tech settlement thing. I don't know. It felt so removed to what I was expecting based on the other two games that I played that I like bounced off it a little bit. But it has a bunch of mechanics in it that are super fucking cool. The decounter's so cool because it just introduces this really cool tension into the game that not many games have. Do you know the decounter from Dragon Quarter?
No.
So in Breath of Fire 3 and 4, in fact, all the Breath of Fires, you can turn into a dragon. So in 3, it's the dragon gene system. Over time, you collect genes, and you can have Ryu turn into a dragon you pick like a couple of genes, and the different combinations make different kinds of dragons. And it has an MP cost to become a dragon and then an MP cost to maintain your form. So you have to keep enough MP on Ryu so he doesn't transform back into a human if you want him to keep on doing cool dragon shit.
Mm-hmm.
The way it works in Dragon Quarter is you have a thing called the decounter. When the decounter reaches 100, the game ends. You get game over. When you turn into a dragon, it increases the decounter, and every turn you stay as a dragon, the decounter goes up. But your dragon form is very, very strong, and it's a really good way if you're fighting a boss. And well, initially when you're fighting the bosses, you're like, I don't even know how to fucking kill this guy. So you have Ryu turn into a dragon to help you kill the boss, and you very quickly realize that you cannot beat the game by using Ryu's dragon form a bunch because it pushes your decounter up so much. So you're constantly balancing this like resource of like, if I have Ryu turn into a dragon, he can kill guys real fast and get me out of combat so that I'm not spending my resources keeping my characters alive to get to the end of the game. But it's making this counter go up that brings the game over state forward.
That's interesting.
So it introduces a really good tension, and then there's that meter along with a depth meter that is telling you how many meters from the surface you are, because when you reach 0 meters and get to the surface, you get to the wind, whatever the wind state of the game is. So there's just like a really cool tension there that not many games have. I'm trying to think. There are other games that have a meter that goes up, like a long-term meter that goes up that has a permanent effect on the game state that cannot be reversed.
I have no clue.
I know they exist. I know I've played them. I can't think of what they are because you could say something like Infamous's karma system was kind of like that, of like once you made a commitment to go to one karma thing or the other, it like forced you to go down the game that way, but it didn't feel like tension because you just got like stronger and stronger, and you basically get the same set of abilities, but one set is blue and the other one's red.
You can go back and forth, just so you know.
Yeah, I know you can, but it's a lot of effort to switch once you've committed. Fable was driving at that idea. Fable, I think it was Fable 3, had a really cool system where if you died in combat, you'd respawn, but you'd have a scar on your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that scar would just be there forever. So if you died like a bunch of times, your body would get covered in scars. But because it was Fable, it just wasn't realized in its entirety. But yeah, there's not. I swear there's other games I played with systems that are kind of like that. The game I was talking about before, the game with a disease in it, begins with a P.
Oh, the
gosh.
Russian one. That's not
Pathologic 2. Pathologic 2 is a lot like that. There's a good review for Pathologic 1. So you start Pathologic 1 with a gun, but no bullets. And usually when you find your first bullets, what you do is immediately go sell them for some bread and water, because it's really hard to get food and drink in that game, because the whole place is locked down. And it's like every single resource, you're just like trying to eke it out to survive. And I think that has that like good tension of like, it's that tension of like, here is this resource, and this resource is going to be important from now all the way to the end of the game. There's not going to be a point where I can like refresh or refill this pool. I can't. There's no takesy backsies. Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about Dragon Quarter. I don't know now, but I do.
What else have you played as of last month?
A bunch of things. So I played in February. I played
in January.
In January, I played Paparazzi, which is like fun. I like blitzed through it in like 3 or 4 hours. I said before, I think that the UI in that game really badly needs just like a polish pass. It's something I find very personally frustrating, because it looks like a game that's made in Unity, and I'm like, give me like 40 hours in these UIs and I'll go through them and I'll make them nice. I'll put some audio in them and juice them up a little bit so that it's more fun to interact with. But it's still a good game. I played Fights in Tight Spaces, which is Slay the Spire, but you're John Wick. I mainly see it as like.
Is that the one with the cards?
Yes,
okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a brawler, and you use the cards to like do moves and move around. And what seems to be like the main mechanic. So it is a deck builder, which means that you are over time are building a rolling advantage by like getting resources to improve your deck, right? Well, like Inscription, right? Because you're playing Inscription. It's like
I love Inscription so much.
In order to win Inscription, it's not just about playing each round optimally. It's about having a strategy to have the winning deck at the end when you have to kill the dude, right? When you have to beat the dude with your deck. No, I mean not entirely, because of like the way Inscription works, but you have that series of challenges that is like, get X number of cards on your deck that have sigils on, right?
Yeah.
So Fights in Tight Spaces has a system where when you get money, you can use the money to upgrade your deck and heal yourself. And the way you get money is by fulfilling specific challenges in each combat that will be like, defeat all the guys in X turns, pick up the briefcase by this turn, don't let this character die, do a combo of X number of hits. And in order to achieve those, you need to make very, very economical use of what you have available. Like, you have to do a lot of damage, and you don't have the cards that you need in order to do the damage. The only way that you can successfully do all the damage you need to do is by getting the enemies to attack each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool when that works out. When you make two guys punch each other, you like dodge around one of them and push him to the side and punch him in the side of the head, and then him and his buddy punch each other and knock each other out. Feels so fucking good. You feel like a real smartass. Sometimes it doesn't quite hit that. It like misses that a bit. And some of the criticism I'm reading of it is that a lot of like, because the fights take longer than your normal like deck builder round, which means the game drags on a bit longer, that having a late game bad deck composition can feel really crappy.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I'm going to play more of Fights in Tight Spaces, for sure. I played like my 3 hours of it and was like, yeah, I get this. I want to play more, but yeah. Obviously, I've been playing Disco. I'm waiting
Disco
for.
Elysium.
I found my ID. I found my ID. I'm.
Are you still refusing to believe your true name?
I mean, I have a problem with refusing to believe my true name. Sometimes when I'm just like chatting with people, I'm okay to be like, yeah, I'm Tequila Sunrise. When I'm trying to do serious cop shit, and I have the option to be like, yeah, I'm Tequila Sunrise, I'm like, I'm trying to do.
You can't just stop being Tequila Sunrise. That's not how this works.
I just started being Tequila Sunrise, so why could I not just stop being Tequila Sunrise?
Yeah, I mean, you're in too deep.
Yeah, I just need to find like a window where I can sit down and play through the next day's worth of content. The last thing I did was talk to the guy about the Wompty Domp Domp Center. Oh, and
yeah.
Oh yeah, and found the other body, which I said we were going to investigate, and I really wish I hadn't, but I've done it now. I guess this is my problem now. I get the sensation that the some of the other cops, maybe most of the other cops in Disco, are kind of corrupt. Like, nearly every single system you seem to interact with in that game is kind of corrupt in one way or another. Like, the whole game seems to be about, like, making, what do they call it? Where you, like, agree to some sort of half measure that is a thing that everyone's displeased with. Like,
we won the game because nobody's happy.
Yeah, it's like making like crappy making crappy compromises between two things that kind of suck. So, like, I get the sensation that the cops in that game are not great. Also, like, in this playthrough, I got the bullet out of the body, which implies to me if I just sent the body back without finding that, I would now just be missing that very vital piece of information and would never get it.
Oh, yeah, probably. I don't think I ever got a bullet out of a body.
Oh, spoilers.
That's fine. I played through the game.
Yeah,
It's just a thing I didn't end up doing.
If you get the body down and you have access to the bear refrigerator, you can like and you can do one check to try and investigate further, which you'll usually fail because it's a very, very hard check, and then you can be like, no, Kim, I want to keep investigating this, and he'll be like, oh, we'll move it. Where can we move it to? And you'll be like, oh yeah, we can put it in the bear fridge, and then you get
I did not end up doing that because I don't think I passed the check.
Well, you don't have to pass the investigation check, but you do have to pass a check to convince Kim to do it, which is it's like a medium hard one. It's not super difficult. And then if you check again once the corpse is in the refrigerator, you get like a +3 or 4 to the test, and it makes it way more manageable. And then it's gross. You like reach inside the guy's mouth and pull the bullet out the back of his brain.
Bleh.
Yeah. Does that mean you never got to do the visual analysis of where the shooter was? Or did you find? Oh no, you must have found that when you interviewed.
I'm not gonna say things based on the fact that anything I say might spoil something for you.
I guess you wouldn't know because when you interview Klaus Chair, she just tells you about it. So probably not. But
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. I probably have additional information about where a potential shooter could be because of finding the bullet and the broken rifle. But yeah, that's where I'm at Disco right now, is basically exploring the other area and talking to people and trying to work out what the fuck's going on the other half of the island.
Okay.
Trying to work out how I can get rid of the debuff that is that I'm being watched by fucking guy I hate, Everett. I need to not be watched by Everett's people so that I can forge signatures on his forms, because his fucking contract sucks. He can bite me. I swear, if that game gave me an opportunity to sabotage Everett for like petty reasons, I'd still do it. Even if I didn't need to, I'd be like, I just want to make this guy's life a misery.
That's fair.
And yeah, the other game I played is Return of the Obra Dinn.
Oh, nice. I hear that one's really good.
It is really good. There's one part of like a key to 100%ing the game, not just like finishing the game, but actually like working out who everyone on the ship is. That was like a little oblique to me, and maybe it's just because my brain is not screwed on the right way, but there's no hint system in the game or anything to be like, this is how you do this one thing that will help you identify people so much easier.
Okay.
But also the strength of the game is that it doesn't explicitly tell you how to solve puzzles.
Yeah.
It's just like, have you played any of Obra Dinn?
No.
So like, the thrust of the game is you're on the Obra Dinn that has returned. There's nobody on board.
I know the basic concept of you're trying to solve who everyone was and what happened.
Yeah. When you find a body, you can use your watch, and your watch will take you back to the time at which that person died, and you're like in a diorama of the ship at that time, and you can walk around and like see people, and then you have a journal, and for each person on the ship, you need to enter what their name and rank is. How they died and who killed them.
Okay.
And there's like fucking 60 people on the crew of this ship, so it can get real spicy trying to identify who's who. The only direct clue you have to names is dialogue, and a lot of the scenes don't have dialogue, and some of the dialogue just implies things. You have to work out what is being implied by a character saying a thing to another character, and then like cross-referencing another piece of information from somewhere else. And when you do those little lateral exercises, again, it feels fucking great. Chef's kiss. Wonderful. When you're like, so this must be this guy, and now I know that he killed this guy, which means that I can identify that guy. And you feel so fucking smart. You feel like the smartest person on the goddamn planet. But getting that 100% I identified everyone does rest on a single piece of logic that you'll either get it or you won't get it. And if you don't get it, like me, I ended up having to look up
go fuck yourself kind of thing.
No, I ended up looking up a guide to like fill in my last few gaps for me, which might have spoiled the game for me a little bit, but I was not about to sit down and play it for another 10 hours in order to be like, eventually be like, oh, I'm just an idiot. And the game is up front, there is an amount of guesswork where you just
Okay.
have to be like, oh, I think this person is this person. The way it works is each time you get 3 people completely locked in, so you get their name, their cause of death, and the thing that killed them, like the personal thing that killed them, correct for 3 people, it like checks them off and it becomes permanent. Like you get that information confirmed to you. So over time, you do start to build up a bunch of a supply of reliable information that you can use to then.
I do remember hearing about that because I have heard, like when I'm watching my podcasts and stuff of people who play video games, I have heard some of them talking about it, and I do remember hearing about the 3 people confirming
Yeah.
certain things and.
The other thing to say about the Obra Dinn is I played through it. I cheated through part of it because I just wanted to finish the game. Lucas Pope could make games like that for the next 20 years. He could just take Obra Dinn and be like, it's the Obra Dinn, but in space. It's the Obra Dinn, but it's like a Roman courthouse. It's the Obra Dinn, but whatever. That template for a puzzle game is really cool, and the way it builds up a narrative is really like, you come into the game knowing nothing about what happened to the ship, and by solving puzzles you understand the entire narrative of what happened, even though things are being presented in this weird, totally out of chronological order. A lot of stuff is just like very hard to pass. Is that this there's never an explicit, the only explicit storytelling moments are when you go into memories and you hear the dialogue for the memory at the start. That's the only time that it's like, stop and pay attention to our very important story things. Otherwise, it's like, do whatever you want, and there's this whole complex narrative about the lives of 63 people that you can learn just by playing the game.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's sick as shit. I love it. And I wish more people were like, let's steal this concept and do stuff with it. Because it's such a cool puzzle concept. It's probably really hard to do. It's probably really hard to execute on, and that's why people aren't really doing it. I think that you have to have the narrative really well realized and work out how it's going to intersect with the puzzle solving parts of it. Well.
Yeah.
I
mean, that makes sense.
Because it's the thing. Then it's like, if you want to change part of the story, you could like break half of your puzzles.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to play more. I want to play more games like that. It's very cool. It's just kind of lame that it's probably going to be the only game like that, because Lucas Pope is like, here's something different I'm interested in now. Which, God bless him, Lucas Pope should just make 1 billion cool games. Please. I've played.
Take my money.
I've played his Russian checkpoint misery simulator. I've played his junk mail misery simulator, and I've played his insurance fraud investigation misery simulator. I'm excited for whatever misery simulator that is going to come out next.
More misery simulators.
But on the other hand, it's like both the indie games industry and the AAA games industry have a problem of people copying each other, right? Like, I don't know, we looked at the trailer for Grapple Dog, which, like, it's a cute 2D platformer. It's like a lot of other 2D pixelated platformers. And it's like, when you see something really cool, you're like, why are people not copying this? Like, why are more people not copying Stardew Valley? Why are more people, when Minecraft was out like for 3 years before somebody was like,
Hey, that's a good game. Maybe if I copy it, some people want to play my game.
Before somebody was successfully copying Minecraft. I think like Terraria, but Terraria has more in common with like Castlevania than Minecraft, I think.
Oh, interesting.
To my mind, it does. The thing that makes Terraria exciting is you're going to summon the big bosses and fight them. Like, the progression is moving towards the next boss so you can fight it. So it's the big 2D side-scrolling, having cool weapons and doing shit, and it's backed by a system of like, oh, I can build a really cool house. I can also, it's Castlevania, but I can build a really cool house.
Perfect.
Which is different to like Minecraft because Minecraft is more
I
explicitly
build a really cool house. Oh, also there's bad guys.
Yeah, it's more explicitly a
I
game
think
about building and
later-
exploring.
I think current Minecraft is more about a more Terraria-y by like doing it kind of like that. At least
Yeah.
that's what I've heard.
Yeah, they
It's
did
like,
they did the
the point of
combat.
the game is Ender Dragon now.
They did the combat patch and they had combat update, they did the adventure update, and like they added content that was about going out exploring and discovering places.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't. All of that stuff feels less fun than the core loop of Minecraft. It all feels worse than the core loop of Minecraft. I don't think that the core combat in Minecraft is very fun. Even after they did the combat upgrades
That's
to try
fair. I
and
mean,
make
you
the
just, like,
combat
swing your
more
sword.
interesting. You can do a bunch of stuff. You can charge your attacks. You can dual wield a shield and a sword, and you can use your shield to like deflect attacks. And when you jump and attack, it has a higher chance of critting. And there's tech to the Minecraft combat. It's just not fun. It's just not fun to interact with. It like everything in that game just feels really like everything aside from hitting an enemy feels like it lacks weight, which is always really bad in any sort of combat situation. If like attacking doesn't feel like it has weight to it, it never feels good. It feels like you're just like tickling your enemy or whatever. I think what Minecraft excelled really well as like having these horror elements of like it's hard to fight enemies in an environment that you're not very familiar with, right? That was like the original thing with Minecraft is you'd be like mining somewhere
I
and then
dug into a fucking horrifying monster pit.
or you'd be somewhere you think you were safe and then you'd hear a creeper like start ticking down behind you because it fucking fell off a ledge above you that you didn't notice, and you're like, oh shit, gotta move, but you like don't know, you're not totally aware of what's around you because you've not been paying attention.
So dark.
and like that was like the highs of that game, not the like going to a desert temple and exploring a desert temple and defusing some traps and getting a treasure chest with some treasure in. Like, when those updates used to come out for Minecraft, I'd get the update, I'd go to the new content, I'd piss about with the new content for about 30 minutes, and I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. And then I'd close Minecraft and not play it anymore. Yeah. I don't know. It's still a really fun multiplayer game.
Games I played last month. So I'm kind of doing what you're doing, trying to play like one game a week.
I thought you would. Are you doing one every 2 weeks?
So that's my goal is one every 2 weeks. But if I can play more, I'll play more.
Okay.
So I finished off Disco Elysium, which I started off last year, right at the end. And then I played through Inscription, and I'm still playing Inscription every so often because it's really addictive. Did I tell you I got my Ouroboros to over 300?
No, I didn't. I knew you were trying to like you're trying to do your achievements, right?
Yeah, in order to do the achievement easiest, I need to get my Ouroboros to like 600. So I'm on my way. That took me about 22 hours to do that, and then I played through In Other Waters. Do you know that one?
I feel like.
It's
Is
like
this the?
it's blue and yellow mostly, and it's like a top-down. You're exploring the ocean on an alien planet.
Okay. This looks kind of like my speed. Do you think I'd like this game?
Maybe. I'm looking at your screen and it is not showing anything, so I didn't realize you're actually looking it up.
Well, I was looking up here. I'll do it. I'll do it on my screen. I was looking up on my own tab, on my own
Yeah,
browser tab,
okay, yeah.
because
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing. I played that one. It took me 7 hours to do everything in it, and it's a pretty cute narrative game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my
Potentials, future.
I'm gonna put it in my 20XX list, which is
Yeah.
just like, yeah, sure, at some point.
Yeah, so I have on my list how long to play. How long to play says about 10 hours to do everything. I did it in 7. So that was like doing everything, which is kind of like you will almost do everything as you play through the game. Naturally, it'll be like maybe one or two things that you'll be like, "Oh," unless you literally ignore everything and just do the story, which is really hard to do when it's like essentially the game throws in your face like, "Oh, hey, you haven't explored this section yet." I mean, I'm gonna explore that section if it says I have not explored that section.
Yeah.
um, and then you watched me play through most of Mosaic. That one took me 4 hours, and I did not go back and play anything else of it, but I'm kind of tempted to see if it's like if there are potentially other things you can do, or if it's like very much like, no, this is the story that we're telling you. Like I want to see what happens if I put the like don't take the fish with me, or if
Okay.
I ignore colors or something. But I have not had enough of a drive. I did not get all the trophies in that one because it took me already too long to get the trophies I wanted to get. Uh, and so those were like the 4 main games. But I played a bunch of shorter games as well. Um, I have Root on here because I played a couple hours of Root with you boys. I have League on here because I've definitely played a few hours of League. And then I have that Dapanur Nocturne.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm really sad that you got motion sickness from that game.
There's a chance part of it was because I was kind of sick.
Okay.
There's a chance that it was just it happened to also like it happened to give me motion sickness because my stomach was already queasy. So there is a chance it was just that.
What
And
does
then I
your
played.
what does your spreadsheet look like? Can I see what your
Yeah,
spreadsheet looks like? I mean,
yeah,
you've already seen mine, so
yeah. Just let me share screen. How many games a year?
okay.
So I
You have
have
a lot less columns than I do.
I have this first tab. These are like games I have. Um, that I have yet to play, and then how long to beat. So games in my itch, games in my Steam, games that are out but I don't actually own, or maybe I do, like I own Returnal, but games are out that I do want to play, minus things that I already own on Steam and already own on itch. And then games that are coming out that I want to play. And then these are just tabletop RPGs I found while I was looking through my itch stuff. Um,
Uh,
and then, so yeah, this was my first page, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a second one. And yeah, my second one is this this one where I'm kind of like pulling things into it as it goes, because I don't want to plan to play too many things. Like you can kind of see I have a couple things out there, but they're not even super solid on it.
yeah.
It's like I have Pokemon Legends because it came out at the end of January, so it's like, oh, I will definitely play some Pokemon Legends at the start of February. And then I put Titan Souls there because I'm like, oh, it's only 10 hours and I don't really have any other plans. And then Horizon Forbidden West is at the very end. So depending, like, I'm gonna play Horizon Forbidden West. And then March technically has 5 weeks. So I have 5 there because it starts halfway through a week and ends halfway through a week, but also has 4 full weeks.
Yeah, I have a I have a system for that.
Yeah. Tunic is there because that's when it's coming out. Ghostwire is there because that's when it claims it's coming out. I put Fire Tonight between it because it's only gonna be like an hour-long game. And then so these are ones that have release dates I have planted, and then I have a couple random ones like, oh well, there's nothing currently planned to come out in July, and Outer Wilds takes like 20 to 40 hours, so that's a kind of good place to put that in case nothing comes out.
God, it's wild to think about Outer Wilds taking 20 to 40 hours.
And then I played Sea of Solitude, which when I first started playing that, I have a review on Steam. When I first started playing that, I started doing it with keyboard and mouse, and the controls were atrocious. Like I almost didn't want to play the game. The controls were so bad. It like it's so you used WASD to move, but it was like kind of tank controls where if you pressed W, she would walk away from wherever you had the camera.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
the camera was controlled via your mouse. But for some reason, the camera was very unresponsive. Like I would have to move my mouse and move it and move it and move it to have it move a little bit. And sometimes it would kind of like bob back towards like the center, and it was just awful. And the reason I started with mouse and keyboard was because I didn't know where my computer, the controller I typically use on my computer on. But then as soon as I put a controller in, it was like a playable game. So in my review, it basically says, "Do not play this with mouse and keyboard. It is garbage."
does it open with a thing that's like, hey, use a controller, or does it not?
I don't think it recommends a controller.
Oh, okay, that's bad. It's not that hard to put in a screen saying recommend a controller.
I don't remember it saying it recommended a controller.
I just love the thing for Yakuza when it opens. It's like, real Yakuza use game pads.
But yeah, no, because like Hollow Knight does that. I remember that was one of the first games I played that it was like, we recommend a controller. Because I didn't actually play a lot of games on Steam prior to Hollow Knight, to be honest.
Well, apparently, I played Obra Dinn for like 6 hours.
Nice.
It's more than I
And
thought.
then for the Steam sales, I bought a handful of games, one being Spring Falls, which is just a cute little puzzle game where you make flowers bloom using water. And I beat that. It's only about an hour. And it was pretty fun. Like if you want to just sit for an hour and do puzzles that are not overly hard, but a couple of them are gonna have you scratching your head, it's pretty decent.
That's good.
And then lastly, I've been playing Cozy Grove, which is, I think it might be from the people who do Triple Bear.
Huh? Triple Town?
Triple Town, yeah. Because like so you're a camper and you came to this island and you're helping these ghosts, and all the ghosts are squarish bears.
Yeah, it's a Spry Fox game. It's a Spry Fox game.
Okay, yeah, okay. It is weird because it's like, I think Brandy would really like this game. But it's a game in which you have to come back daily. It's not like it's not like you can sit there for like 10 hours and just beat it. It's like you show up for a couple hours and do what is currently available that day. And the game is kind of in real time, where it's like, oh, well, it's 10:30 here, it's 10:30 in the game. And I've been kind of enjoying it. It's like it's like I don't want to say addictive, but like I keep wanting to play it.
But it's like Animal Crossing, right?
It's very Animal Crossing-esque.
Yeah.
But like they haven't had like iterations to improve upon. But it's not bad. It's just it's definitely, if this was the newest Animal Crossing, people would probably complain. But
Yeah.
it itself is doing fine. And then yeah, I started playing Pokemon Arceus. It's Arceus, but I always say Arceus.
I mean, I wouldn't know. It's Pokemon. It's a Pokemon
The
game.
only reason I know is because I called it Arceus in front of James, and James is the Pokemon guy. So he looked at me. He's like, Arceus? I looked back at him like, yeah. So I started playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. And then I continued talking about how I played Pokemon. It's pretty fun. I like it more than Pokemon Shining Pearl or whatever the recent one's called.
It's the first Pokemon game, aside from New Pokemon Snap, that I've actually felt any desire to play whatsoever.
Okay, well, I have it, and I will probably be done it by time your schedule frees up a space for it. So just listen, if you put it on your list, you could probably borrow it from me.
I think generally there's just not going to be space for it on my list. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots left. One of those spots is filled with Hollow Knight Silksong when it comes out this year, because it definitely will. One of them is going to be filled
Get
up.
your clown makeup.
One of them's going to be filled up with Stray, but if Stray is a PS5 exclusive, I might have to wait until I can use your PS5 to play it.
Yeah.
And then one of them is going to be probably going to be Doke V if it comes out this year. And one of them is going to be Potion Craft Alchemist.
Is that the one with like the little chibis?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to play that one so bad.
And then maybe Dordogne as well now. Oh, and no, wait, Little Gator doesn't have a date yet, but it is on my list of like, oh geez, I hope that comes out this year so I can struggle to play it.
Which one was the last one?
Little Gator.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cute when you waddle down the hills. He just like sticks his little arms out and waddles.
I didn't play the demo.
It's so good.
Because it looked like a game that I didn't need to play the demo for. It's like it's essentially, it looks like a short hike, which is one of my favorite games of all time.
It's the Breath of the Wild of short hike games, which means that genre has 2 games in. And what the fuck is Little Gator? I think short hike and Little Gator, when people say walking simulators, like this is high end walking simulation. This is the walking simulation that I'm here for. This is hiking simulation. So yeah, the chances of me being like, oh, I guess I'll try Arceus, pretty low.
Yeah, that's no problem. But just so you know, you won't have to purchase it when you do decide to play it, because by time you do decide to play it, I will have probably been done with it.
I would never. The most I would spend on a copy of it to try it out would be like $20, maybe.
Oh, and that's never gonna happen. Pokemon games do not go that low, even the kind
Yes.
of poopy ones.
Yes. I would not. It's unlikely that I would buy that game in order to try it out. It's not like I'm not like really hyped to play it. I'm just like, oh, they made Pokemon kind of interesting again. But it's also it took them fucking 12 years to do that. To admit that maybe something in their formula is not appealing to everyone.
Okay, but here's okay, so let me actually straighten my brain out. For Pokemon Arceus, there is a pretty good chance that it is not going to be the new Pokemon style of game. It's probably going to end up being like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, where it is a game that came out and there will probably be more of them, but it is not the Pokemon game that comes out every couple years that coincides with the anime.
Yes, that is true. Um, like I know how game franchises work, right? The reality of the actual Pokemon franchise, where they release the game every year, is that people just complain about it every year, and people complain more and more with each game that they bring out that they're
They
not.
do change a little bit and
I
occasionally give you some what's it called, quality of life updates and stuff to the games.
I don't know about. I can't speak to the actual quality of the Pokemon games. I can tell you
I
that
kind of can. I play a little bit of almost every single one that comes out. The last one I think I really enjoyed, that's like a mainstay. Let me think about this. Is probably Pokemon Sun and Moon. And part of the reason is because Mimikyu now exists.
but I think generally like this is not my like big industry take on the Pokemon franchise. This is my personal fucking opinion about a game franchise where I begged my aunt to bring me a copy of Pokemon Blue back from New York because she was in America and I was in England where we didn't have the Pokemons. It hadn't been imported to England. People on message boards were talking about it and I'd seen stuff and I really wanted to play it and I begged her to bring it back for me and she got it and I was like reading the manual in the car on the way home as you
God,
did.
I remember doing that.
Like
Yeah.
back in the
Doing that
day.
with Katamari.
And then I played that game and I was at school for 3 or 4 weeks hanging out with the same group of people talking about Pokemon and trading Pokemon with them and just like fucking doing the thing the game was designed to do. Which was to like get people together talking about this monster trading game.
Yeah.
Right? And I've had that experience, and I completely beat Pokemon Red and Blue, got all 150 Pokemon, couldn't get Mew because of not like Pokemon not being a mega thing. In like the only way to get one was to break the game using a game card or whatever, like using a Game Genie or whatever. You couldn't like go to an event and get one because those things didn't fucking exist.
Yeah, those didn't exist.
Like even did analysis on the Pokemon types to work out that like Psychic is broken because there's nothing in the game that is strong against Psychic that isn't also weak to Psychic because they made all the Ghost types also be Poison types and all Poison types are weak to Psychic types. Like, that game did not give a shit about balance. It did not care about balance in the least. So it's like that. There was that amazing experience of playing Pokemon Red and Blue. I think I played Blue first, and I got Red later.
And you're like, wait a second, this is the same game.
And I played through Silver on an emulator, and I didn't collect all the Pokemon. I collected like 100 and 200 and something. I didn't ever get all 250. And everything after that, it's just I couldn't even finish collecting the Pokemon in Silver. And then there was 350 and 500 and 700. And to me, it's not a collecting game if I can't see myself eventually having a full collection in a reasonable
I mean,
amount
not
of
only
time.
that is there are like, for instance, with the newest games, you can't even technically get them all if you just have the newest game. You need to like port them from other games, because you can port them from games, but you can't like just walk around and catch them in the game you own.
And the other thing is, it's so complicated now.
So
So, like,
complicated.
the original Pokemon was overcomplicated because it had two stats that it didn't need that it introduced to balance the combat system out. The game wasn't balanced anyway, so I don't know why they fucking bothered doing that. But there was like, you have moves have PP, moves do damage. If you run out of PP, that's very bad. If you run out of Pokemon, that's very bad. And you want to strategically you want to strategically put out the Pokemon that's strong against the Pokemon that you're fighting. Right? Really simple rock paper scissors with some like light resource management and broken status effects. And then they added
Sorry, keep going.
natures and EVs and berries and held items and baby Pokemon and Pokemon that evolved in all these different conditions and times of day and happiness levels.
Yeah. Like Eevee had his like original like, oh, you just give him a stone and he turns into fire, lightning, or water. And then in the next one it's just like it's kind of the same, but now we're starting to get a little bit different. For Leafeon, you have to evolve, or you have to level him up near a mossy stone, which is in a specific location. And the same thing goes for Glaceon, except for it's near like a frozen icy thing. And then they added Espeon and Umbreon, where they have to have a happiness level, and you have to level them during night or day, depending on which one you want. And then Sylveon is you evolve by you get it by evolving it the way you would evolve an Espeon, but it also has to have a fairy move, or else you're just gonna get an Espeon.
And I like honestly don't know how you find this stuff out by playing the game. Like maybe you talk to the NPCs, but like nobody in the fucking history of anything was like, I love talking to Pokemon NPCs. They're so cool, dispensing lore knowledge about the world. People who are like Pokemon NPCs are cool are like, I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. Ha, that's funny. What a meme.
The only people who go around talking to the NPCs that are not just smashing A to get to the item or whatever Pokemon they're going to give them are the people like Matt Pat, who is like, secretly Ash was dead the whole time. You talk to this NPC and he says this one thing, which leads you to this other NPC who also says this one thing. Those are the only people.
Pokemon Red and Blue like barely has a story. Barely. Man, I actually now kind of want to go back and do some analysis on the like. I think it does a lot with implied narrative in that game, of like you go to places, and the only way to move forward is to go do stuff that implies the narrative events. The narrative events existing. Like you need to get the thing from the top of the Ghost Tower, which means you need the Sylph Scope, which means you have to go to the Team Rocket HQ, and you have to be exposed to what a bunch of epic douchebags Team Rocket are. But there's never a like, there's no cutscene where your character explains their motivation to go there, and maybe that's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool thing that I like.
So here's the thing about even now Pokemon games is your character does not tend to explain their motivation because your character is a very silent protagonist.
Yeah.
However, they usually sit you with a friend who will tell you what their motivation is, which is essentially telling you what your motivation is.
Yeah, there's like a lot of people like calling you, right, and telling you what to do.
Well, yeah, your friend will show up. Your friend will show up. So typically you have a rival and you have a friend. Sometimes it's the one and the same, but they're typically way more friendly than Gary was. And so, but they're like on the same type of quest. Like, so typically now the way the Pokemon goes is like, you pick your starter and then your rival picks the one that's strong to you, and then but your friend will pick the one that's weak to you. And so whenever you fight your friend, you have the advantage, and your friend's always really nice and it's like, "Oh, let me heal your Pokemon after we fight." And then your rival, which usually still heals your Pokemon, is slightly tougher, but because they have like your weakness, blah blah blah, and they're slightly stronger. But your friend and you tend to go around, and your friend shows up, and essentially your friend acts as your motivation in the sense that, like, since they don't want you to have a voice, they have your friend have the voice that you would have if they gave your character a character.
Yeah. God, you just reminded me what like a cool mechanic the rival in Pokemon Red and Blue is. It teaches you something about the world, which is if you battle with your Pokemon, they get stronger, and it implies that that's true for everyone, even though it's not, right?
Yeah.
Because every time you run into your rival, he has better Pokemon than you do. Aside from the one that disappears, and everyone's like, "Oh, one of his Pokemon died in the SSN."
Rattata.
Yeah. But
Or
anyway,
his Raticate.
yeah, the TLDR of the whole thing is that for me, I think for me to enjoy Pokemon again, they need to really radically redesign Pokemon.
Yeah, so I've been playing before I was playing Arceus. I was playing Shining Pearl, which is the remake of Pearl. And it's like so I don't like walls of text and or like cutscenes where it's just like it's not a wall of text, it's a wall of text broken up into different boxes. And so I mash through a lot of cutscenes in Pokemon because I literally just want to play the game. I want to go around. I want to catch things. I want to like battle and etc etc. But like the cutscenes are so obnoxious, and the worst part is you're in a cutscene and I'm mashing through the buttons, and unfortunately for me, there's like one line of dialogue that tells you what you have to do before you go to the next part. And so I'll see the little flag on where I'm supposed to go, and I'll head there. It's like, oh, but this person's not letting you through. And I don't know why the person's not letting me through because I missed a single line of dialogue that was, oh, first you have to talk to this NPC who's going to give you like the pass that lets you walk past this person who keeps stopping you. And I don't like with Arceus is not as bad. There are still like cutscenes where they talk a lot and the story's like it's okay. But I feel like I can do a lot more between those cutscenes.
I mean, I feel like I'm doing a lot of romanticizing Pokemon Red and Blue in this, but I'm going to say this anyway, is I sequence broke that game when I played through it the first. The place you're supposed to get Flash for, I can get Flash. I scraped my way through the walls of the tunnels.
Yeah!
The game didn't fucking care. I could get my badges out of order.
Yeah,
I'd already been told my primary goal was get all the badges and then go beat up the Elite Four. That was it.
Yeah, so like they're like in so many Pokemon games now, it's like there's this person who will stand there, and when you want to go in that direction, you try to walk past them and they'll like get in your way and be like, "Oh, you can't go this way yet. It's something something, the road is blocked." And it's just like I don't have the patience for it. I've not come across any NPCs that have like physically blocked my way. However, in Arceus, there's like a waypoint on like this is your next main objective, so I can kind of just like mess around, and then I go, and by this is your next main objective, it'll be like, oh, this is the exit you want to take to go to the part of the field that you're going to go do Pokemon stuff in. And then there's like the waypoint on the map, but like you can just kind of fuck around as much as you want. And oh, one really cool thing about Arceus is like you want to catch Pokemon because you're doing research on the Pokemon, and you get research points by catching more of the same Pokemon, or using a specific ability against that Pokemon, or catching large versions of that Pokemon, or fighting the Pokemon is one of them. Etc etc. And so it's like I can run around and just sneak up on like a fucking Starly and just throw a Pokeball at it, and it gives you bonuses if the Pokemon doesn't see you, and it gives you bonuses if you like hit the Pokemon on the back of the head.
Yeah, Arceus is driving it. One of the two things I think would reinvigorate the franchise for me, which is to have a combat system that feels really tactile and exciting. Like I want to run around the field whilst my Pokemon's doing moves and be
Yeah,
like
I
yelling
really.
out and directing my Pokemon whilst this battle is happening around me.
So like, it comes so close to what I would love. Um, so close. So when I throw a Pokeball, like with my Pokemon, so if you want to if you need to fight a Pokemon or you want to fight a Pokemon, and you throw your Pokeball with your Pokemon in it at it, and you hit the Pokemon with the ball, it actually stuns them, which gets you like an extra move at the start. And you can walk around while your Pokemon in this battle, but it's still on your turn. It's like, oh, pick one of the four abilities, and then it'll do it. And it teases you. The other Pokemon will occasionally move around the battlefield, like casually, but like your Pokemon does not move. You cannot be like, Pokemon, go stand over here. Your Pokemon just stands there and essentially takes it. And their attacks essentially hit the way they would in a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm sad that you don't control it. But they gave you, your character, like a dodge button. And because, like, if you don't pull out your Pokemon, you can get attacked by Pokemon. And so you have to be able to dodge it, or else you're just going to pass out.
Yeah.
And so I'm like a little bit disappointed with however, that being said, they've given me the Final Fantasy X turn-based system where it had like this is the order in which the moves are happening.
Mm-hmm.
They give you that in this game to help you figure out when's the best time to use agile versions or powerful versions of moves, which changes the order.
Yeah, I don't. 10 did a lot of work to make the combat still feel really tactile, despite how strategic it was. Highly
It was literally,
strategic
it was
combat.
super, yeah.
But they did so much work with the animations to make it feel
It
tactile. Is
definitely
the best
doesn't.
word I have.
It doesn't feel as good as Final Fantasy X for sure, but I like that they gave that to me.
And the other thing I'm on the lookout for from the Pokemon franchise that I don't think is going to happen because it's just like such a broad mandate. Like if somebody came to a games company and was like, "This is our mandate," I'd be like, "How the fuck do you plan on doing that?" Is to sort of like recreate this instead of like having a collectathon of focusing more on like this is my team of Pokemon and this is why I really care about these Pokemon that are mine, right? In the original games, you'd like collect your 5 or 6 Pokemon, and these would be your ride or die buddies. This is it. This is your team. These are your guys. These are your people. That's what made it very different to a lot of the other collecting games at the time, is that the Pokemon felt a lot more personal to me. That it like these aren't just a thing I collect. They're the ones that fight with me, and they're going to be my team. And at the end of the game, it's going to be like, look at this team of people that you beat the Elite Four with. Look at them in the whatchamacallit, in the credits, in the thing. They put up a thing of like, here you are, and here's the team that you beat the Elite Four with. And that, like, the way they tried to deliver that in future Pokemon games felt like it went away from that and not further towards it, even though all like the mechanically and narratively you'd be like, yeah, all these mechanics make sense of like, oh, if you don't let your Pokemon die in battle, they'll be happy, and if they're happy, then they'll perform better in battle. But like, to me, that ended up feeling like a bunch of RPG stat management and not an interpersonal relationship, and not a like, oh, we really care. It's not the same as I'm gonna go talk to this NPC in Stardew Valley because I like them.
Yeah.
There's no mechanical benefit for me going to hang out with this NPC, but I want to see what they're doing on a Saturday afternoon because I think they're kind of cool.
Yeah, I want to see if they will like this egg I gave them.
Like, maybe that's it. Maybe Pokemon needs a Stardew Valley where the Pokemon all have, like, daily schedules and they do things, and you want to find out their names and the things that they like and they don't like, and you want to be personally involved in their lives in some way.
So in Pokemon Arceus, one cool thing is different Pokemon will react differently to you. Some will like run away and some will attack you. And I was very surprised to find out Paris, the little like crab with the 2 mushrooms on it.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it's really aggressive when it sees you. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. But that's me and Pokemon, I guess. I don't know. I want another good collecting game, but it's never gonna happen. I'm gonna collect all the plants in Strange Horticulture though. That's my goal.
Yeah, I'm excited to play. I don't know when I will play that. Maybe I'll pick it. Maybe I'll replace it Titan Souls after Pokemon. Who knows?
So the games I got in the Lunar Sale, I did get Strange Horticulture. I got Resident Evil 2 Remake. I got Midnight Protocol, which is the hacking game from the sale that I really liked. And I got Webbed. I'm really excited to play Webbed.
I bought Spring Falls, Cozy Grove, Cloudpunk, the Cloudpunk DLC, and Lara Croft Go. Lara Croft Go is only $2.
Yeah, have fun with Lara Croft Go. I played a lot of Hitman Go. It was a very, very good game. And Lara Croft Go came after Hitman Go, so I'm hoping it will just be like that, but like better. Yeah. Anyway, like it's like 11 o'clock, and I have soup on the stove that I'm supposed to be finishing, so I'm gonna go.
Okay. I might have more pasta leftovers for you.
Okay. Well, if you don't, you don't. I just need to put my soup in the blender so that it's not chunky. And then I'll have food. I just hadn't done that yet.
Yeah.
And I'll catch you later on. You'll find it. Where are you? OBS. There we go. Stop streaming. Good night.